What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome to another Rust video, and today we're going to be looking at a base design. This is a base design that I really like to make when I'm playing by myself as a solo player. Obviously, if you play, like, I don't know, in groups of 2, 3, 4, maybe this isn't the base for you, but this is just what I like to do. So what you need to do is find a nice flat piece of land. In fact, if anything, you want to try and find a piece of land where maybe when you put your foundation down, a couple of the corners will be submerged. There is a proper tutorial on how to do this, the initial base design. It's basically how to hide your tool cupboard. So if you guys want to go search that up, feel free. If you can basically submerge the whole thing so it's all level with the ground, that's probably the best thing to do. So there you go. There's hardly any clearance on any side there. It's all basically flat to the ground. The sand is the best place to do this so you can actually see what you're doing. The snow is pretty good as well, to be fair, but woodland area not so much. So now what you want to be doing, you want to get some foundation steps. To do this on vanilla, you're going to need a lot of wood, so because the first time you do it, you are going to cock it up. So from one side, go up with the stairs twice, get yourself another square foundation, stick that on the end, and this is the test, right? If you can get that far, you're doing well. Now what you need to do is try and go all the way around what you've just built. It's quite tricky. I didn't do it on my first time. I didn't even do it on my second or third, but eventually you'll get there. So this is what you want to do. You want to make sure that this square right here is in the middle of the whole thing that you're building. So now we can go ahead and get rid of, it depends how big you want your base to be fair, but I'm not going to make it that big because we're going to try and do it so that we're saving resources. We have temporarily stopped due to a bear on the building site, so there's not really an awful lot I can do about this other than take out the bear. Right, so this is what you'll end up with once it lets you place foundations after things get disappeared, right? So you've got yourself your little square in the middle down there. You've got foundations all around it. And then you've got your stairs going into the base. This is the front of the base, okay? So obviously as a solo player, playing on vanilla, I would imagine most of you are. Of course, if you're playing on higher gather servers, then you want to make your base a bit bigger. But for a vanilla player, this is more than sufficient. You've got a nice big square and that in the middle. You might be asking to yourself, why is that in the middle? What's that going to do? What's this achieving? Well, if you've not seen those videos on how to hide your tool cupboard, you can now put a tool cupboard down here. Yeah, you basically want to wall this all off now. Don't wall yourself in it, otherwise you won't be able to get out, obviously. And done. Turn that around. Now, what that does is it creates the illusion that that itself is now a foundation, because all you need to do is pop a pillar in there. Job done. Make sure the pillar's upgraded, of course. And then if I put that over the top of it, it now looks identical to the rest of the base, yeah? Now, this isn't anything new. A lot of you would have already seen this. This isn't a tutorial on how to do it. I'm just trying to save you time. Go and have a watch a different video. Okay, a little progress update on the base. Just before it gets dark, I'm going to have to wait through the night then, otherwise you won't be able to see anything. So what we've done here is obviously walled it off all the way around. We've got our main door right at the front. As we go out the front, obviously you've got the stairs going down. That's a bit concerning there, a little footstep. I haven't been outside in ages, but let's just go back in. So I've got a sheet metal door on the front. Obviously it would be better if you could get armoured, but anything will do initially. And then you want to put walls up and around this bit, and then another arch going here ready for some more doors once your metal cooks or your wood or whatever. And then walls either side of the main doorway, and you want them being not soft side, proper side. So like as if you were building a base on the outside. You don't want people to be able to walk through the front door and then pick down one of these walls easily. You want to make it difficult for them, okay? So there we go. That's what we've done so far. Okay, so minus a few doors, I've basically built the base, and now I'm going to go show you around with bone knife in hand. So down the bottom, that's still where the cupboard is, and the reason it's still twig is because I'll explain at the end what you can do with it. There's various different things you can do with the square in the middle. So this is obviously the entrance to the base. You've got yourself your steps. You will probably want, and by probably I mean you'll definitely want to put high walls around eventually, or if not, just another layer of honeycomb, which you'll probably be able to do all the way around if you've built it correctly. You could put another layer of honeycomb. What you're trying to do is get people to raid you through the front. You want to try and put them off raiding you around either sides, because if they go through the sides, your base is still quite protected, but it's not as good as if they just come through the front door. So imagine you've got high external wooden walls even going around the outside. You'd be sort of safe, right? So they blow through the front door and they're in, right? They've just come in here. So the only place realistically they're going to want to go now is through these doors in front, because this but there is going to be too strong, that but there is too strong, they can't go up. Oh, what's this up there? And then they go forward, okay? So now they're in the base. Now, before they get this far, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be upstairs. Now, this is obviously all down here. You can put doors in around here to stop them again if you really want. They're not going to try and go through the floor to get to the cupboard because they're not going to know it's there. And then that's just like any other base there. So this is your way up to your second floor. And now you have a couple of options. You can either go up again or you can go through here. Now, this is where I would keep my loot. This is my loot room. I kind of mix it up between that side and that side. Sometimes I put it at the back, but generally I like to keep it at the front. And obviously I would have shelves in here and stuff, but I don't have any of the blueprints on this server, so I'm just keeping everything in these little boxes on the floor. Now, again, either side, I'd either have my loot over there, my bag over here, or my loot over here, my bag over there. I haven't put a door here just yet, but there's my bag. If obviously you've got more players, you can fit 3 or 4 bags in this little space. This door right here opens up to what I like to call the killing floor. Now, the killing floor is basically, if you're being raided online, the best thing to do is just to sit here with the doors open, wait for them to raid. They breach the front door. You can then be here with your pipes, your shotguns, your bolts, your AKs, whatever, and in my case it's a bow, and you fire as they come through the front door. They can't actually go anywhere. Once they come through, they're stuck. You know, they can't do anything. They have to go through another door yet again. So you can just spend all your time here killing them through this. If you want a higher ground, that is what the third floor is for. Obviously, imagine there's a lock on that. There's not, because I can't afford it. You can come up to the third floor, which is basically just for defense more than anything else. I put this little triangle here. You don't have to have that triangle. You can put it sideways or forwards or backwards, or don't have it at all. You can put little walls around if you want to stop yourself from falling in. But I like to have it that there, just so that if they do end up, you know, getting the advantage and they do end up firing up, that I could it's just a bit of protection. You can go either side of it like this and come from behind them. It's just something that stops you from falling down, really. So if they just walk straight into the base, you're on the top floor for whatever reason, you can get them like that down there. Makes perfect sense. You can have 2 people as well. If there's 2 people in this base, one person is there, I'm here, and we can go front and back through there. Okay, makes sense. I like it. These doors here, quite literally, I've got triangles on the outside as well. If you want to go here and you use the door to stop yourself from falling over the edge, you can then stop them from even breaching the front door. It's not the best thing in the world, because obviously they could have campers around on rocks or whatever, but it's just a little extra defense if you need it. Obviously all these doors would be locked. I've raided loads of bases in the past where they've had these doors that all open either inwards or outwards. Obviously they should open outwards, really. There you go. And it gives you an extra line of defense here. If people are coming through the back, you can see pretty much everything. If you put a window there, it wouldn't be as good, because you can't see directly down. You can put little triangles out if you really want to again, like the front, to allow you to come out the back to see them if they're trying to go through the back. But generally you should have high walls around the back to stop that anyway. So there we go. Like I said, all these doors should have locks on them, even if they're key locks and you keep the keys in a little chest next to the door. I wouldn't recommend that, but if you can't afford the metal, then yeah, I would definitely recommend putting the keys next to the door, because I've raided so many bases in the past by managing to boost up or get building privilege, not that they'll be able to in this base, but get building privilege and just open the door and walk straight in. So there's various different things you can actually do with this. You don't have to put your cupboard in it. You can quite literally leave it as a trap. So you could put, I don't know, loads of traps down there. Cover it with twig. When they blow through that door, the twig will destroy. They'll walk straight in, or just don't put twig in it at all. They'll just fall straight in and kill themselves in the traps. You can put your cupboard in it like I have there. You can do it a bit more strategically as well. There's various different ways that you can get a loot room in here without anybody knowing it's there. So right at the beginning of the video, I showed you how to make the initial square of this base. What I didn't show you, which is probably something you can find, well, you can definitely find it in a tutorial, because that's how I found it. If you don't put the squares around it, you leave it just as a foundation on the floor, you could put the cupboard right into the corner of the square. That leaves you enough room to be able to get a sleeping bag and a shelving unit across there. Imagine the cupboard's in the corner, bags over there, shelves across here. You can put a little chest on top of the shelf. You can then put your floor going across like that, and then the shelf, rather the box, the little storage box, is sticking through the floor. Well, the good thing about this base design is you can just focus on doing it a layer at a time. So for instance, this layer right here, make sure you put a hatch in, but the rest of it you could just wall off and you'll be fine. You won't need to worry about being raided for the first night at least of a fresh wipe. And then the second day, if you've got time, or the third day or whatever, you can then focus on the second floor, whereby obviously you're trying to get these doors in up here, you're trying to secure the whole thing. Your loot room can be moved up into here, which is always nice. And just in case obviously someone does manage to get through to your... The reason I put the loot room on the second floor, and I always do this, either the third or the second, depending on what story you're on, but I always put my loot room in the middle of the base rather than on the top or the bottom. Obviously, if they breach through the bottom, they're going to be able to access your chests. You don't want that. If you put your loot room on the top floor, which a lot of people think is safe, if they manage to raid tower your base, all they need to do is get through this floor here, they're into your loot. At least make it that much more difficult for them that they have to go through another floor yet again to get to your loot room. That's my motto. I like it. I like it. It served me well in the past, and I'm going to continue to do it. So there you go. That's my little base design. Sorry if that went on a little bit longer, or maybe I didn't explain it very well. I was going to do it bit by bit as I was building it, but in the interest of time, I decided to build through the night, and I've actually spoken all the way through the day as well. So yeah, if you like this base design, let me know what you like about it in the comment section. If you don't like it, tell me what you don't like about it. And obviously if you like that little cupboard trick, I didn't come up with it, I don't claim to come up with it, but I'll try and leave a video to how to do it exactly in the description. Go check that out, I highly recommend it. If you've enjoyed this video, smack that like button, subscribe to the channel if you have done so. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, till the next time, goodbye.